you and others who have nothing but the responsibility to report on just how bad these last couple days of camp have been for Dillon Gabriel. I mean, we said it a couple weeks ago when training camp kind of got started. Don't book your flights to Santa Clara for the Super Bowl.
Oh, I'm already making vacation plans for that week. You know what? In fact, I'm making vacation plans for Wild Card weekend. I'm not sweating that at all, man. I'm going to go somewhere where it's nice and sunny and warm. Actually, you know what? It just hit me. Never mind. I'm no longer making vacation plans for Wild Card weekend. I may need to be available to work. It just hit me. That just dawned on me. I hope that doesn't happen, but I'm my spidey sense is tingling, and my vacation. It'd be the first time in 20 years Daryl would get to take a vacation for himself and leave it to the Cleveland Browns to totally ruin those plans. So you know what, Nick, I got to self-check myself here. No vacation plans Wild Card weekend as much as I want to do it.
You know, this summer has been a long one for me. To start the year, like 2025, I was doing a thing where I was going to a new state that I hadn't been in before every single month. But because of the show and, you know, being here with you on the weekends, I've been here. The feet have been grounded here ever since I went to California, like early in the Guardian season. So I'm with you. I'm kind of looking towards the end of this Brown season already. Seems crazy to say.
Well, but, you already got the owner talking about next year.
You know,
right?
Doesn't that hurt? Like for the Browns, Anthony Allant and I hosted for overtime in Jake Volnick's spot Friday evening. And it's crazy that we haven't even played a game yet this year. Like fans haven't even been able to see a preseason game yet this year. And the calls that we were taking Friday evening, like it's a Friday night in the middle of the summer in Cleveland, and people are bent up about this football team. They haven't even had the opportunity to see a game yet because this is a smart fan base that knows what they're signed up for. This is a fan base that knows that this is a season where not much positivity is going to come.
Well, I'm guessing a few of those callers, they went to a training camp practice or two, and they saw what everyone else is seeing. This offense is inept.
And dude, could I just say this? We're going into year 6 of Kevin Stefanski, who was coined this offensive guru, this quarterback whisperer.
Yeah, I have to pause you for a second, though. This offense is inept, but it's not Kevin's fault.
But dude, at some point,
you can only work with the groceries you're given to work with. And I love Joe Flacco, but I don't know how much gas is left in the tank. And the rest of that quarterback room is the hot mess express. So
then he should look himself in the mirror, Daryl. To me, and I see Baker Mayfield. The Buccaneers just guaranteed his money this year and next because they want to sit down at the negotiation table in good faith with him and his agent and figure out something even further than 2026 with Baker. I'm sorry. I have a hard time feeling bad for Kevin because he chased the one franchise quarterback thatVe seen in my 26 years of existence out of town because he couldn't make it work. And because he needed to grow up, this, that, and the third. We'll help him grow up. That's part of your job as a coach, to coach him up.
But it's a two-way street. The player has to be willing to grow. And at that time, Baker wasn't willing to grow, so I can't hear the Kevin Stefanski chased Baker Mayfield out of town talk because I observed some things with my own 4 eyes that in a normal employment setting, okay, would get me fired immediately for insubordination, for a variety of other things. There's a way you treat people. There's a way you communicate with people, okay? It doesn't matter who you are. And quite frankly, Baker Mayfield at the time was not good enough to be able to talk to people that way, to be able to treat people the way he treated people. And he has admitted himself since leaving Cleveland, he needed that experience to help him grow. Now, he's in a perfect situation in Tampa. It's a crap division. He is with a good organization coming off the Tom Brady years. He has gone through some personal and professional growth himself. I think Baker has a chance to be a dark horse MVP candidate this year. Okay. But and good for him. Like, I'm not looking in the rearview mirror blaming anybody for Baker Mayfield not being here. I blame Baker Mayfield for not being here.
Well, you're better than I am. I'm scorned.
Well, no, I'm not better than you because I'm going to be doing a lot of dunking on Dillon Gabriel today. But I'm not going to blame that on Kevin. I can't.
Because here's the thing. You only get so many cracks at this, and I could only come up with so many excuses for
Okay, let me give you an example, okay? You're a young up-and-comer in this business, right? And you and I have had a lot of conversations off the air.
Yep.
And you've taken most of my advice. Not all of it, and that's okay. You're your own man. But you have taken most of my advice because you're willing to do that. You're open-minded enough to be willing to do that, Nick. All right? Baker wasn't. So Kevin can try and coach that kid up until he's blue in the face. But if the message is not resonating and is not being received, and if the player is not willing to receive said message, it's wasted energy. It's wasted time. And look, I understand your frustration because, yes, Baker Mayfield is the closest thing in about 40 years since Bernie Kosar that this franchise had come to a franchise quarterback. He was willing to play with a separated shoulder, and it affected his play. It affected the on-the-field product for the team. The team suffered, okay? Should he have played? Hindsight being 2020, no. He probably should have taken the rest of that year off.
He wanted to win. He wanted to win so bad.
Yeah, but unfortunately, by him playing, it was helping them lose. So, like, I can't sit here and blame Kevin, blame Andrew, blame Jimmy and D and JW and Whitney and anyone and everyone else in that building for Baker not being here. It takes two to tango. You have to have somebody who's receptive to being coached. And at the time, Baker just really wasn't receptive to that. And so when you have someone, Nick, that is in that spot, and again, Baker has admitted this himself. I'm not giving away any secrets here. But how do you make a $200 million investment in that person? Because that's where the Browns were at. It was contract extension time. It was commit to him long-term time. It was make a $175 to $200+ million investment in him time. And again, I can't fault the Browns for not doing that. You know what I can fault the Browns for? Drafting Dillon Gabriel in the 3rd round and then giving him all the first-team reps that he can't handle in training camp. Oh, I can fault them for that. You know what I can fault the Browns for? Shedeur Sanders, 5th round. He's, even when his arm's not sore, and this is what's concerning, arm is sore, takes the fewest reps of any quarterback on the field, even though my understanding is like he throws hundreds of footballs before practice and after practice, so he's getting a little camp arm there. Because I got to blame them because they're not giving him work in practice. He's got to do all this extra work. Now his arm's sore. Now he can't practice when they need him to practice.
Dude, well, we talked about this last week. I'm so beyond fed up with the 4-man quarterback competition thing. Like, can we please drop that? It never made any sense in the onset. We need to think, like, we need to brainstorm here. It's not a 4-man quarterback competition. It's the island of misfit toys.
It's Joe Flacco and 3 other dudes.
What movie was that? The Island of Misfit Toys.
Yeah, you can look that up.
Rudolph. That's what we have. It's 4 guys that nobody else wanted.
Well, no, they want it. They're just not good enough to earn it. There's a difference.
No, that nobody else wanted on their roster.
Oh, wow. Yeah, no one was beating the door down for Kenny Pickett. I don't know how much activity Joe Flacco had this offseason from an interest standpoint. But hey, they're going to try and squeeze the last ounce of good football or great football out of him again. I think they did that in 2023. Well, he's made a couple of beautiful throws in camp, but it's camp, and I wish I could get folks hyped up about this Browns team. I wish I could get folks hyped up about these quarterbacks, but we're going to get into why I can't do that. And Nick at some point is going to be upset at me, I'm sure, because I have some thoughts that I know he's not going to agree with. It's that bad. There's no other way to describe it. There's no sugarcoating it, and it's not his fault. And my criticisms of him are not personal. Okay, I know some folks are probably waiting for me to sit here and make a bunch of short jokes and things like that. Like I make fat jokes when I'm on with Ken and Nick, during the week. I'm not going to do that because it's not about that. There's a lot of basic stuff he's missing. He's a 3rd-round pick too, and they're trying to treat him like he's a 1st-round pick by giving him all these first-team reps, and they're setting him up to fail.
The other thing too, even if he wasn't a 3rd-round pick, was anybody else really tripping over themselves to draft Dylan Gabriel in the 3rd round or the 4th round? Like everything pre-draft you read about Dylan Gabriel, it was a 5th, 6th round grade that people had on this kid. Like people had Will Howard above him. Like nobody really expected Dylan Gabriel to be a top 100 draft pick. And now they're treating him like he was a top 10 draft pick. It's just too much. Like it seems like at practice, like they are truly forcing Dylan Gabriel on all of them.
He's first up in 11 on 11 most days. First up.
They're clearly getting ready they're trying to get him ready to go to play on Sundays. That means, and
they're clearly going to force us to watch this guy try and play football this year. They're going to force that upon us. Jimmy Haslam made that very clear during his media availability. He and D Haslam, they, spent about 25, 30 minutes with us, their usual training camp media session. But Jimmy Haslam made it very, very clear that we're going to see one or both of these rookie quarterbacks. Like Kevin Stefanski understands the assignment here. Yeah, probably not going to start the season with them, but we're going to end the season with them. And you know what that means, Nick? If you're ending the season with your rookie quarterbacks on the field, you know exactly what happened.
A lost season.
Right. Okay. I have seen, look, Dylan's made a couple of nice throws. Okay. But he's not nearly as consistent as he needs to be. He misses. His mobility's been on display. We've seen him get outside the tackles, get away from the traffic, right? He's still missing guys that are open.
The thing is,
he's missing guys on air. Like no defense, like it's the receiver, the running back, the tight end, they run the route, bam, ball should be there, and there you go, right? I see him miss those throws in practice. Those should be 100%. Okay, I'll grant you a 0.1%. 99.9% of the time, those passes should always be completed. And I've seen him miss those passes, okay? He looks great in 7-on-7. Why? There's no offensive line or defensive line in front of him.
Right.
And again, I swear, this isn't about height for me. This is about arm. This is about like I put the clip in the show open today from Kevin Stefanski. When you have a coach constantly talking about processes, okay?
Well, that's the thing. He learns fast. He processes information. His brain, Daryl, is what you're not considering here. His brain is like a computer, and we know that equates to wins, right?
That's great. Look. He's a great kid. He really is. No, I mean, you're laughing at me. I'm having an honest moment. He's a great kid. He's really intelligent. Okay? He ain't an NFL quarterback. I've seen enough. I have. You got to understand, I've watched 40 different starters roll through here.
And 9 practices in, you know that this one's not it.
That doesn't include the 50 other guys that have rolled through here that they've cut over the years. I know what I'm looking for. He ain't it.
I'm concerned. I'm concerned for you, really, and for Browns fans everywhere that when they put him on the field in a live action game, even if it's in the preseason, like if he's missing passes when the defense isn't on the field, what is it going to look like Friday in Carolina?
Nick,
when J.C. Horn's running around in the defensive backfield?
Nick, they gave him 6 throws yesterday inside the 10-yard line, and no one could catch a football in the end zone from him. Now, I gave him a touchdown. It was a screen pass to Fannin. And I think in the real world, Fannin probably gets blown up at the one and doesn't get in. But the session was so bad, I'm just like, what the heck? I'm going to give him the touchdown. Why not? It was that, not close. The passes weren't close. They weren't catchable.
So why are they doing this to us?
Well,
why
because
are they
Kenny
making
Pickett's hurt. And Shedeur Sanders had a sore shoulder, and they wanted to shut him down because you don't want to exacerbate that problem. But Kenny Pickett can't get healthy fast enough. And I said it in the first segment. I never, ever thought those words would fall out of my mouth. Dylan Gabriel is that bad.
No, because there was a time when we started the show and Kenny Pickett was the only quarterback on the roster at that point. They hadn't added Joe Flacco yet, and they hadn't drafted the two rookies when we started doing the Sunday show together. And we had made the jokes about, like, what would you do if Kenny Pickett was the week one starter? Like, is that something? And, like, neither of us could even digest that.
I think I said something like start drinking heavily.
Now it's to the point where we're campaigning for Kenny Pickett to regain health because the rookie that they decided to draft 50 slots ahead of the rookie that probably has the higher ceiling is just that bad.
And this is where I blame the organization. He's a third-round pick.
Right.
Okay, I'm sitting here ripping this kid who's a third-round pick because he looks terrible in first-team reps, and he's getting a boatload of them. I think he might have the most first-team reps of any of these quarterbacks, okay? They're putting him in a bad spot. You're forcing me to evaluate this kid like he's a first-round pick. He's not. He's a third-round pick, okay? But I'm having to look at him through the lens of he's a first-round pick because it's clear that you're trying to prepare him to play this year. And I think that is a grave mistake. He's not ready for it. Now, could he potentially someday develop into could he be like, Colt McCoy, right? I mean, Colt McCoy is like the business of football MVP. He made a 15, 16-year career being a backup quarterback, bouncing around the league, making spot starts, because of his football intelligence and his ability to just, at the drop of a hat, do whatever's required. That potentially could be Dylan Gabriel's future.
Right.
Dylan Gabriel's future is not franchise quarterback. Like that's just not in his future.
I have a list of
hang on. But I feel like they're trying to put that in his future.
Oh, for sure.
And that's so unfair to him. It is so unfair. Because, again, I am evaluating him not as a third-round pick. I'm evaluating him as a guy who they're giving first-team reps right out of the gate. Every day, this guy is first up. Occasionally, it's Joe Flacco. But every day, it's Dylan Gabriel first up. Why?
Because they love him. They clearly love him because he's smart, because he goes into the meeting rooms, and I'm sure he blows them away. And that's what this regime is. It's computers, it's spreadsheets, it's in the classroom. When you get in the four lines that are painted on the football field, it's about scoring touchdowns. I understand that they really like the kid's intangibles and that he probably is a really good leader and that he's intelligent. Like, that's all really good, promising things to hear. That doesn't equate to winning games. Like, the fact that Dylan Gabriel could probably repeat verbatim the entire playbook before rookie mini camp even ended. Like, that's the level of intelligence that the kid has. That doesn't equate to winning football games on Sundays. But they kind of think that it does. Like, everything that they do says that they value being intelligent over just raw football skills and acumen. And it bothers me. I've got a list for you, Daryl, of third-round quarterbacks who have started a game. Tell me if any of these names move you over the last decade.
All right, here we go. Are you going to rank them for us too?
Desmond Ridder started 17 games. Malik Willis. Will Grier. Mason Rudolph. CJ Beathard. Davis Webb has one career start. Jacoby Brissett. Probably the best of the group.
I'm going to give you Jacoby.
Garrett Grayson. So of those, Jacoby has 48 starts. Mason Rudolph has 13 starts. Desmond Ridder has 17. Beathard has 12. Malik Willis has 3. Will Greer has 2. Other names that were drafted in the 3rd round and never even made it to start a single game. Kellen Mond, who was here for a minute.
Yep.
Matt Corral.
I have a feeling you're just going to name a bunch of former Browns
and
quarterbacks.
Hendon Hooker.
Okay. I was worried you're just going to start naming former Browns quarterbacks.
In the last since 2015, those are the 3rd round quarterbacks. Like, and that's the ilk of play. Dylan Gabriel fits right into that conversation to me. Like guys that were great college football quarterbacks, guys that show promise and have attributes that you like, but really are not franchise quarterback or anything close to it.
The moment Kenny Pickett got hurt, they should have just turned the keys over to Joe Flacco. And you keep Shedeur on the plan you've got him on, okay? And Dillon Gabriel's taking the backup.
Well,
reps.
that's why people are pissed about the Shedeur stuff. Like, I know we've spent a lot of time talking about how the Browns aren't trying, and I agree. Ken Carman kind of went viral this week for the rant that the Browns are not trying to sabotage Shedeur Sanders. And I think you've got a lot of people that are from Boulder and that are Buffalo fans, and they think that the Browns are some evil, twisted organization that are trying to intentionally ruin him. I don't think that's what's happening here. But the one thing that people are right about that are, causing this big Shedeur Sanders uproar is the other options ain't that great. No. So at some point, you might as well see what you've got. Because I know you've got him on this like personal improvement plan as if he's some suffering employee that's not doing that well, and they really, all right, Shedeur, you've got to show me this, and the third, and then you could get your opportunity with us. Okay,
he's been written up already.
Yeah. I know. So I know they're working through that with him or whatever. But the fact of the matter is when the other employees can't put the fries in the bag, you might as well see what you've got with the kid.
Here's the thing. Dorian Thompson-Robinson in practice looked like a competent NFL quarterback.
Well, they're doing that. They're falling for that again in Philly, too. The word out of Philly camp is that DTR looks really good. I'm like, I've played that game.
Yeah, we spun that wheel for a couple of years here in Cleveland. Well, we know how that movie ends. It does not end very well.
Maybe this will be the opposite. Maybe it will. Maybe that will accident. Like we've been tortured through 9 practices, and then maybe we roll out Dylan Gabriel week 1, and he's Drew Brees, left-handed.
No.
Wishful thinking, but we've tried everything.
Did you just say
we tried everything? We might as well try opposite day.
Did he just try and compare Dylan Gabriel to Drew Brees?
Sleep with your pajamas inside out. Maybe you'll get a snow day. Why was it put the ice cubes in the toilet? You never know what'll happen. You've got to will these things into existence sometimes.
He dropped Dylan Gabriel and Drew Brees in the same sentence. I'm offended as a Saints fan. I'm appalled. That's horrible. But there's a part of me that does hope you're right. Like I don't have an axe to grind against this kid, and I hope he proves me wrong. Well, all I know is what I've seen through 9 practices, he ain't got it.